Hello, this is Miss Andrea, and today I want to talk about assessing your child's writing. As a homeschooler or as a parent of a child in traditional schooling, it's important for you to be able to tell if your child is a good writer so that you can help them move forward. So, is my child a good writer? This is a guide for homeschooling and other involved parents. And what I'm going to do is show you some tools that you can use to assess your children objectively in their writing skills. The first one is called Paper Rater. I really like this because it allows you to look at their grammar. It gives you writing suggestions. If you get the paid version, it dings plagiarism, but it also grades them based on their grade level. And so it'll give you a good idea of where they stand for someone in their grade level. So what you do is you go into the program and you click Analyze Your Paper, and it takes you to this screen right here. Now, be very careful. Do not press the Start Now button. That's for adding a widget to your computer, and it's kind of vaguely related, and I'm not comfortable with that. Just click Get Report. And after you, of course, copy and paste your child's writing into the text box. You select the education level. You select the type of paper they're submitting. And you can also select the plagiarism detection. But I'm pretty sure that there's a fee there. And so don't click Start Now. Just click Get Report. So here's an example of an essay that I cut and paste in, and the child, I scored them for sixth grade. I put them as a sixth grader because for fifth grade and under, it won't give you a letter grade for the child's writing. And this child was fifth grade, so I felt comfortable saying, okay, so what is their grade on a sixth grade level? And as you can see, it's an A. And it gives you, the different tabs give you different feedback. You get spelling, grammar, word choice, style, vocabulary words, their grade, and then some advanced functions. But each of those things tells you where the child can improve and make suggestions. When you click the vocabulary word tab, for instance, it tells you how they scored based on someone at their level, the quality and quantity of vocabulary words you used. It shows them, that they're above average here. Excellent work. Your usage of sophisticated words is on par with other well-written papers. But they give a link to a vocabulary builder that you can use to make it even better, to push it all the way. Okay. Another example is grammar here, and it shows where they wrote were lost, and it should have been was lost. And just those mild little suggestions really do stick, and the children do write better next time. So it's just important for them to see that while what you wrote wasn't horrible, here's a little suggestion to help you next time. Readability formulas are kind of telling them who can read your paper. Most people, like the newspaper, for instance, write for sixth grade. They write for middle schoolers. So if you're writing something conversational that you want the everyday man to be able to read, you have to tone it down. You have to pull it back. And you kind of want to keep it at a sixth grade level. If you're writing something academic or collegiate, you want it at 12th grade level and above. If you're writing to a specific audience that is learned, then you want your writing to be, 11th grade, 12th grade, 13, 14, 15, 16, higher. But for everyday reading, you actually want to pull back and have things at 6th grade level. Otherwise, your reader is going to tone out. It's kind of a tricky science. So if you look at Flesch reading e-score and Flesch Kincaid grade level, that tells you that this child's writing can be read and understood clearly by someone at that level. It's a little difficult to read. Their vocabulary was a little sophisticated. Now, looking at it with my naked eye, I didn't think it was sophisticated, but knowing that the topic is ancient history and there are words in ancient history that aren't used in today's lexicon, there are going to be people who aren't familiar with all the words they used. So this helps students to break down their writing, to explain their writing, and not just use the biggest vocabularies they can find. Just don't use the most impressive vocabulary word you can find, because you have to think about everyone you're talking to when they're reading this. Are they going to get bored and tone it out because they don't understand it? Or are you going to break down some of those hard words and explain it to your audience? You can even use the word and then explain the word, and that makes the reading level better for your audience. You can still use intelligent words. You can still show off your vocabulary, but you also have to break things down for your reader to make it understandable. And that's why a readability score is important. It's very great to see how sophisticated the student's vocabulary is and how their writing is. But if no one can read it, kind of what's the point? And then we have Grammarly. Once a child gets, their basic 5-paragraph essay down and they can write that with some level of ease and they understand your basic grammar, I like to test their grammar on Khan Academy to see how they are, if they've perfected the rules of grammar, whether or not they use them. Then I like to put them on Grammarly, because Grammarly forces them to use their vocabulary and their commas and their homonyms more properly. It's a closer analysis and it's nitpicky. So I wouldn't give this to a student who wasn't ready to be criticized, but once they get to middle school, I think they're ready to use Grammarly. You can see here it has 5 alerts. It says the writing is very clear, and I find this across the board. When a student hits middle school and they can write a conversational essay, their clarity is the first thing that happens. It gets very clear. And then engagement, but was it interesting? Will they catch the reader's eye? A little bland. Delivery, just right. Premium features cost money. But Grammarly says it's a 76%. Note that it's lower than the A I got for them being at 6th grade, because Grammarly doesn't score you by grade level. Grammarly scores you pretty much as an adult. So when I'm using Grammarly, I don't give them that grade. I just use Grammarly to tell them these are a list of things that aren't quite right, that need to be fixed. But I use that first program to give them a proper grade, a proper score. So these are the things I use when I'm assessing the written work of my students. I've used it to assess the written work of my kids. I make sure my high school and college students are using Grammarly to get that grammar cleared up before they're in front of a college professor. And it's easy. Like, it doesn't take long to assess grammar, and you can do it from a viewpoint that isn't personal. Then, these tools are very helpful. Where these tools don't help is in, did the child's essay follow the rules that I set out when I asked them to do the essay? Like, I gave them a prompt and I said, here's what I want your essay based on. Did the child go off on a tangent and write about something else completely? Those are assessments that you have to make as the teacher or the person assessing the work. Did the student follow directions? Yes or no? And you take away points if they did not. If they were super focused, maybe you add extra points. But as far as the mechanics of writing, these tools work really well, and I hope you use them, and I hope you enjoy them, and the links will be below. So until next time.